Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Monday morning. Let me turn that heat off, y'all. I done got a little warm sitting over here. It is Monday morning. We have made it past another week. We have made it through the weekend. I don't know about y'all, but I had a pretty cool weekend. I didn't do much, but I had a pretty cool weekend. Friday, when I did some karaoke, and baby, my daughter showed out in the little karaoke space, and I was so excited for her because she was so excited herself. But so we made a decision that we was going to get out Friday, and we decided to get out Friday, and guess what we did? We got out Friday. But it's been a great weekend. It's been a great weekend. um yes, but it's Monday. Let's go ahead and get into it. Before I get started, for those that don't know me, I am Coach Tawanda. I'm a certified and called personal development and goals coach, and I just coach on life. I coach on, mindset. I coach on, you know, um, healing. I coach on believing. I coach on living in purpose because going through a season in life where I was surviving. I wasn't really living, I was just surviving. And I got to a point to where I had to make some decisions differently than what I had made before. So in that process and in that season of life where, healing had to take place, where I had to, sit with myself, I started documenting things. I started seeing how things was changing, how things was shifting in life. And now, guess what I'm doing? I am allowing others to have the opportunity as well. Not only am I a personal development and goals coach, but I am a self-published best-selling author. You can go to my website, coachingwithtawanda.com. You can check out some of my books there, or you could just go to Amazon. They are on there as well, Tawanda Jones. I'm just saying, just in case anybody want to know. But I'm also a podcast host of Talks with Tawanda. Again, it's a space that's created to allow me to be able to speak to the heart so that the ears can hear. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Judy. I hope you're staying warm over there, girl. But yeah, it's just a space to heal, a space to grow, a space to live intentionally. So today is Monday, and at the start of the week, one of the things that we should be sitting with ourselves doing is deciding what we're going to do for that week. But not just that week. We're not just going to decide what we're going to do for the week. We are going to make a decision, an intentional decision to decide what we want to do moving forward in our life in general. Um, so before we go further, I just want you to understand something that most people go through their whole life without realizing that your life will not change until you decide what you want. Life is just life and happening to us. But this is a season that I come to tell you that, hey, you can change that. You can change it by making a decision. And that change is not gonna come, it's not gonna be until a hoping thing. You just hope things get better. We're not going to go through the season hoping things get better. We're not going to go through the season. We're going to continue to pray, but we're not going to continue to pray for the same breakthrough that we actually have the responsibility and have the tools and the power to actually get. We're not going to go through wishing life could look different. You know what I'm saying? Even, you know, we're not even going to say no more in this season that I'm tired of this, because sometimes we can get tired of stuff that's actually strengthening us and building us up for the next season in life. No, no, nothing will shift until we make a clear, bold, honest decision. I had to learn that for myself. I had to make a decision that that was spiritual. You know what I'm saying? I had to make a decision that actually touched the heart. That was the foundation. I had to change the foundation and how I thought, how I looked at myself, and just all the things. It was a mental act. It was an emotional act. Like, I had to take a moment. You heard me speak about a few weeks ago. Like, I had to get intentional. It was some self-awareness that had to take place in the building. I had to sit with myself to understand where I was and where I wanted to be, and I had to make some decisions to bridge that gap. Every breakthrough you've ever heard about, every story of transformation, every new chapter that someone else has stepped into, started with one big thing. I had to learn that. And I didn't know it until I realized it, until when I realized it and I start applying it myself, I was like, okay, this is a real thing. It's a moment of clarity. A moment of clarity, a moment of making a decision that's going to change the way that you look at yourself and look at life. Good morning, Miss B. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It was a moment where a person had to say, okay, enough. This is enough. You have to get to the point to say that this is not my final story, that there's more to be written. You have to get to the point to make a decision to say, I deserve more. Like, I deserve more. You deserve more. You have to get to the decision to understand that. And you have to get to the space to say, I was created for more. Not only are you understanding that you deserve more, but you have to understand that you was created for more so that you can be able to walk into purpose. Things are about to change because why? Because you said so, because you're going to make a decision. Clarity is the doorway to everything you've been praying for. Clarity gives your life direction. Trust me. Coming from a space living in survival mode, living in the wilderness a little bit longer than what I needed to because I wasn't making decisions that I needed to make in order for me to move in life the way I needed to move. To live intentionally is so different than just living, with the motions, just going through the motions and things of that nature. Before I go any deeper at this moment, if you've not already, I will be having on the 15th a Vision and Goals workshop. And in this workshop, we go even deeper into the spaces of understanding and deciding what you want. You will get to leave that space understanding that you deserve more, understanding that, hey, you actually desire more. And then putting some tools in place, some action steps in place to allow you the space to get it. Go ahead and click that link in the bio and grab your seat. But while you go click that link and grab your seat, we're just going to go ahead and continue on real quick because I want you to understand that clarity tells your mind what to focus on. If you're not clear about what it is that you want to do in life, then what would you be focusing on? Clarity allows you the space and gives your faith something to stand on. If you want to be faithful in a situation, you're standing on faith, but what are you standing? What is that faith standing on? What are you standing on? What it is it that you are desiring to have in life? You got to make a decision. You got to make a decision. You got to make a decision. You might got to make a decision. And here's the truth. Most people never decide. They just drift on into the next situation, to the next space, to the next day, to the next moment, just drifting. Make a decision to step into those moments. Make a decision to show up at 10 o'clock. Make a decision to show up at 2 o'clock. Make a decision. Don't just let it just fall over in your lap. Oh, it's 10. What am I going to do now? No, make a decision and be intentional about the decisions that you make. Because most people, and I say most because I was one of those ones that was in that space and I drifted into relationships, drifted into jobs, drifted into habits. They drift into life that they never want, to the life they never wanted, all because they never paused long enough to say, what do I want? I remember having a moment where, what was I reading? Jack Canfield, The Success Principles, great book. And it had taught me so many different principles of life. And that as I was applying them to life, things started looking a little different for sis. I'm trying to tell you what I know. So I hope what I'm putting down, you're picking up. But I remember Jack Canfield asking a question. And the question was, what do you want? And the assignment was to write down, what I wanted and things of that nature. And everything that I wanted was really attached to what somebody else needed from me. That was so funny to me. That was so funny to me that everything that I felt I wanted was attached to what somebody else needed from me. So I had to do that exercise a couple of times because I realized that I was getting it right but wrong at the same time. And it's okay to, be in position to do and to stand for other people. But what do you really want is a question that we often not ask ourselves. I want you to be in position to ask yourself what you want. Because when you don't decide, guess what? Life is going to decide for you. Situations are going to decide for you. Other people's expectations are going to decide for you. Your past wounds, baby, they're going to decide for you. Fear is going to decide for you. But when you finally allow yourself to get still, remember we talked about self-awareness a few weeks ago. When you allow yourself to get still, when you silence the noise, when you stop running from the truth, when you finally look at your life and say, I'm ready. Who's ready? Go ahead and tap ready in the chat bar if you're ready. And if you're coming into this live, watching it later, go ahead and put ready in the chat so I know that you was here and you're ready for the next step in life, because everything inside of you begins with a shift. Everything. Everything inside of you begins with a shift. Come on, Miss B, be ready. Your energy gonna shift. Your mindset gonna shift. Your standards are gonna shift. Your confidence, baby girl, it's gonna shift. Your faith is gonna shift. Your path, it is going to shift. It is going to shift when you decide to show up for yourself and make decisions that's going to be better for you. Why? Because clarity activates purpose. Yeah. I have this saying, if you're around me, and if you're not, you probably hear me say it often on posts and things of that nature. Have an amazing day on purpose. Live life on purpose. We are living life, scared. We're living, and trust me, in life, there's going to be some moments that's going to be a little nervous. Baby, I got some projects going on that's bigger than me. They're bigger than me. And I remember a point of time in life where I would shrink down because of what was placed in front of me, and it just looked so heavy. Now I'm excited about the things that I'm working on, but they're bigger than me. And so I have to position myself. The clarity of it all is I decided that this is what I want. And although I'm a little bit nervous, y'all, your girl is a little bit nervous, because of what I decided and what I decide to hold true to, and the fact that I've made a sound decision to say I'm going to do this thing, I can override fear. I've been doing it, y'all. I've been over here having some fun with this intentional living, because as I stated, when I got clarity of life and I started making decision, it was activating purpose. Everything that I get to do, the movements that I get to make, I make them in purpose. Clarity activates power. Give you a little power over there, big baby. How you thinking like, and knowing and understanding that you can do this thing because you have the power to do it. Clarity activates momentum. Let me tell you, baby, you'll get to moving like, listen, I am working on, for those, and I'm not going to go too deep in it because that's not why we're here today, but I am a founder and executive director of a nonprofit, Our Future Generation. So we're in the stages of building the foundation more sturdy. And my board members, they be tickled at me, but they be right there with me, honey, because I'll be like, okay, we're finna have the next meeting because we got to keep the momentum going. We got to get some stuff doing. So I'm always in the chat, and somebody texted last night, okay, wait a minute, you over there working. Let me get busy on what I need to do, type thing. And you get excited about it because you got purpose and you know where you're going. You got the power to understand that you got the strength to do that thing. And the momentum is just going to keep you flowing right through to get from where you are to where you want to be. And when you decide, sweet baby, when you decide, I'm talking about really decide, the world around you starts to align with that decision. Listen, I'll be over here sometimes excited, sometimes more excited than I need to be, because I get to see how life is just showing up. And I remember that space where I was just showing up to life. I was just falling into that thing. I'm just tripping all over into life because I was not standing in a space to where I was activating power and purpose and the momentum that I needed, because I really wasn't making clear, sound, specific decisions. And so now, as I look at life and I look at some of the things that I get to experience in life, I'm not just falling into it. Now, some things it's just showing, it shows up. Let me say this way. I fall into it, but I don't fall into a trip, and I fall into it intentionally, knowing that I prayed for it. I've decided that this is what I wanted. And although it looks scary sometimes, coming full flush, it's coming full force, because it's something different, it's something new. I'm excited. I'm excited because I know that this is where I'm supposed to be. The right opportunities start showing up when you make a decision. The right people in your life start showing up when you make a decision. Oh my goodness, we will be here all day. If I can just share moments of that over the last couple of weeks, I'm just saying the right decision, the right idea will land in your spirit when you make a decision. Good morning, Joseph. Good morning. The right doors will open when you make a decision. When you make a decision, your steps get ordered, sweet baby. I'm trying to tell you what I know, not what I heard. This is life experiences. Your direction, they come a little bit clearer. Remember, your vision is your GPS. And when you put those directions into it, those goals and those things that's attached to it, when you put that address in the GPS, it gets you to where you're going. But if you think you're gonna get out there and just figure out your way to get from here to there, knowing you ain't never been there before, it's gonna have you a little confused and a little turned around. But when you make a decision, sweet baby, when you make a decision to go ahead and put the right address in the GPS, your direction is gonna be a little bit clearer. I'm sorry, something was hitting my spirit, y'all. I had to understand that before I made the shift in life, it was moments that I just felt like, okay, well, maybe God ain't willing to stand up for me. Maybe this ain't what he wanted or he had got going on. And, I made all the excuses. I blame, to a degree, kind of blame God for, not showing up. You remember me saying a couple of weeks ago that some of us are praying for blessings, but because the way our mindset is that we're not in a position to allow ourselves to receive the blessing. It's not because God wasn't willing to do the things that he's doing before, but it was because I had to finally get clear enough to receive it. You can ask for certain things, but then you go doubting it, and it's okay because we're human to have that little moment of doubt. But you're gonna have to catch that thing. You're gonna have to catch that thing because you're gonna have to stand on faith. And even in moments where I doubt the decisions, the big things, the opportunities that come my way, even in those moments where I get to doubt, and I have to just sit down and pray, Lord, help me in my unbelief. And then it just allows myself to sit a little bit clearer because the decisions that I have made, the only way that those things does not come to pass is if I make a decision against it. So you're going to have to decide what you want, and you're going to have to stand on it. Today is that moment for you. Today is that moment for you. Today is your clarity moment. Today is the day that you stop floating, that you stop waiting, that you stop hoping, and that you start choosing. Because if you don't choose, life is going to choose for you. Your breakthrough is not waiting on you on waiting on time. Your breakthrough ain't waiting on time. It's waiting on your decision. We're sitting around here waiting for a breakthrough, but we ain't decided what we wanted to break through. I said it. We sitting here waiting on a breakthrough, but we ain't decided what we want to break through. I was just gonna let that sit there with you a little bit. Most people never get what they want in life, and it's not because they're lazy. So don't think you lazy, sweet baby. You ain't lazy. You ain't even unmotivated or incapable. It's because you have not taken the time, the real honest time, to define what it is that you want. Still in life, as a coach, as a human being, I still have to have these constant reminders, and especially when things are not looking the way I want it to look, I have to ask myself, what do you want? What do you want it to look like? What are you expecting out of life? If it's more clients, then you got to decide how many more clients you want and what are you willing to do in that space so that you can get what it is that you want. But it's going to start with a decision, sweet baby. A lot of people walk around with these big general statements like, I just want to be happy. We all do. I just want a better life. We all do. I want more money. How much more money? I want peace. Why ain't you got it? I want success. Come on and go get it. Decide. Make a decision. That's right there. It's a little bit vague. That's general. Because we all want to be happy. But what makes you happy? You got to make a decision. Because the truth is, that's not clarity, sweet baby. Saying you want to be happy, saying you want more money, saying you want a better life. Oh, everybody want peace and everybody want to be successful. But that's not being specific. That's not a direction. That's just a feeling. Happiness is not a pain. It's not a plan. Better, it's not a target. More is not a goal. That's vague. It's blurry. It's foggy. That's why even myself, I had to go through these spaces of, I was that person. I just want to be happy. Okay, there was moments I was a little happy, but what did that really mean? You cannot build a future on fog. Just imagine yourself driving and it's very, very foggy. You can't see where you're going. It's foggy. That's how we are when we don't make decisions to move with intention, move with clarity when it's our life. It's our life. You can't aim for something you can't see. How you gonna see it if you ain't decide what it is? You can't manifest something that you can't define. We all have the ability to attract the things to us that we desire to have. I had to make a decision. I made a decision a long time ago, about 11 years ago now, rolling up on 12, that I didn't want to work for people. I wanted to work with people, meaning that you can't find you're not going to find me getting a 9 to 5 and all those things. There ain't nothing wrong with it, so I'm not judging the space. I'm just saying I made a decision that I wanted something different in life, and what I wanted back more time. I realized that working for somebody, going to clock in, I felt like my life was controlled by being in those spaces. I needed more control over my life. I wanted to make the decisions that if I needed to be there for my children, I can be there with them, and I didn't have to ask for permission. If I wanted to go to the bathroom, now if I'm here and I want to go, I'm like, excuse me, I can excuse myself, but I'm not going to ask permission to go eat a meal or go to the restroom. When I put in the hour, I woke up, these my hours, and it's not being fun. I'm not discouraging nobody from a job or anything like that. But for me, I had to make different decisions because I know that's not what I wanted. I figured I couldn't build legacy working for somebody else. That's just me. Everybody decides different. Everybody moves different. And let me go ahead and tell you, being an entrepreneur, baby, I'm telling you, it's not for the weak. It's a lot of decisions that got to be made in that space. It's not for the weak. So me making that decision to be an entrepreneur, it took a lot to be in that space because things don't always look the way it looks if you got a 9 to 5, baby. You got to be on a different type of grind, a different type of mindset, different type of energy, all that. But I'm there because I decided that's what I wanted. Fear kept me working for somebody else, knowing that that's not what I wanted. Indecisiveness sometimes kept me working for other people, although I knew that's not what I wanted. I had to make a decision and I had to stand on it. That decision was going to be that I was going to work for myself. Baby, it's still some growing in this space that has to take place, but it was a decision that was made, a decision that I'm not going to back down on it. So I'm not going to let fear, I'm not going to let worry, I'm not going to let, past pains and all the things come in the space to deter me from where it is that I'm trying to go. It was a decision that was made. Good morning, Miss B. Good morning. You can't manifest something you can't define. You're not going to walk into the future that has no shape. When your vision is foggy, sweet baby, your decisions come foggy too. Your habits become foggy. Your energy becomes all foggy. Your results become foggy because that's just what happened. But when you get clarity, real clarity, everything shifts, everything changes. Clarity is being specific. Clarity says, I want to make an extra $20,000 this year, not just more money. Clarity says, I want to move into a peaceful home by June, not just I want peace. I want me a new house. And, clarity says you put something into it. Clarity tells you that, this is specifically what I want. I don't want to just be happy. I don't want to just make more money. I want to make an extra 20K. I want to build a business that earn 5K a month. That's clarity. That's being specific. I want to heal from this relationship and restore my confidence. That I don't just want to be happy. I am intentional because I have made a decision, and that decision has provided me with clarity to move into the spaces that I need. Clarity is gonna give you direction, sweet baby. It points you forward. It tells your brain what to focus on. It tells your habits what to align, and you best believe it's gonna tell your faith what to expect. When you are clear, your yes become powerful. And your no's, they're gonna come a little bit stronger. It allows you to be in a position of understanding that you are in control and you have the power of your life by you making decisions for yourself. Most importantly, I want you to understand that clarity activates purpose. Because when you finally decide what you want, when you stop living life on autopilot, when you stop reacting to whatever comes your way, when you stop accepting things that don't align with your future, when you shift from being reactive and into being intentional about decisions and about your movements. Because you got to understand, intentional people live a little bit different in life. Intentional people wake up with vision. Intentional people make decisions that matches where they're going. Intentional people don't let distractions lead them. And that's a tricky one, baby, because distractions will come. But if you are intentional about the decisions that you made, intentional about going from where you are to where you want to be, then you're going to be able to not allow the distractions to lead you. Intentional people set boundaries, they build momentum, and they trust themselves. I remember a time I didn't trust myself much. I didn't. Decisions that I needed to make, I always had to ask somebody for their opinion. What you think about this? Now, yes, there's sometimes I may create something or do something, and I'll ask a person, what are they getting from it, or but it's not asking them because I need their opinion on it to make a decision. My decision was already made. I'm asking them because I just want to see if they're gonna get all warm inside like I do. It's a difference. Because intentional people, they create the life they want on purpose. And that does not mean that everything falls into place the moment you just make a decision. It means that everything starts to make sense and everything starts to move in purpose when you make a decision. And eventually everything is going to start to fall in place. Sometimes we make a decision on some things and it don't move fast enough for us. And when it don't move fast enough for us, we jump ship and we go on to something else. I've been there, done that. I've been there and done that. And I realized in doing so that I wasn't really being clear on what I wanted. So I was going a little bit over here, a little bit over there, and all over the place, here, there, where. And I was just playing. That's why this moment right here is about you, though. It's about you. You're not here, just to be inspired. You're not here just to get clear. You're here to define your direction. Where are you going, sweet baby? You're here to step out of the fog and into your future. You're here to make decisions that's going to be able to open up a path for you to travel down that's going to be clear and it's going to be intentional. Because remember, what we're doing is going from existing to living. We're going to live intentionally. We're going to have to make some decisions that's going to be aligning with where we're actually going. But in order to have the alignment to where we're going, we're going to have to make a decision. What do you want? Ask yourself, what do you want? Sometimes we don't decide what we really want because we're afraid to fail. I've learned that failing is not failing as we would think it is. Failing is an opportunity to learn. You just learn what didn't work, so you just get back in there and you start making decisions to do things different so you can go ahead and land what does work. You don't feel worthy. Somebody in life has told you what you can't do, what you ain't gonna do. Everybody have their expectation that has placed expectations on you, so you don't feel worthy enough to make the decisions for yourself that you really truly desire to make. You don't want to disappoint people. I told you the other week, this is gonna be the season that you're gonna have to disappoint somebody. See, baby, this is gonna be the moment that somebody gonna be a little bit sad about the decisions that you have to make for yourself. You're waiting on the right time, not understanding that the time is now. The time to move is now. Or you've gotten so used to surviving that you forgot how to dream. Baby, let me tell you, if you want to step out of survival mode, if you're sitting just uncomfortable with life, unsure about life, just frustrated and all the things, this is your time. This is your time to give yourself permission to go from surviving to living. You have to decide what that looks like, though. Here's the truth. Indecisions is still a decision. Yeah, it's still a decision. Even when you don't make a decision, decisions are being made for you. It's just the one that keeps you stuck. When you don't make a decision to move forward, the decision that's going to be made for you is to stand still. That's why it's important for you to decide for yourself what it is you want. What do you really want out of life? What do you want next year? What do your next year look like for you? What are the things that you're going to do? As I say, man, I am excited about 2026, the plans and the goals and the vision that has been placed in front of me, the things that I get to do and work on. See, I don't know about y'all. Some of y'all are waiting on 2026 to roll through and then you're going to start making decisions. But I'm trying to tell you, you want to go ahead and make those decisions before you reach that space. Because before you reach 2026, you should already know what you're going to do. And if you don't know what you're going to do already for 2026, you need to go ahead and click that link in my bio. Go ahead and grab your seat and join me on Zoom live on December the 15th at 7 p.m. Central Time. Why? Because we're going to have clarity in that space. We're not going to just put a few pictures on the board. We're going to actually walk through the steps of allowing you to live the life that you're desiring to live. And you're going to get the steps and the tools to help you map that thing out so that next year, we're not even waiting on next year. When you make that decision to say, okay, this is my time. It ain't no better time. This time right here, this right now. When you're intentional about where you're really going and you understand that you deserve better than the life you've been settling for. Oh my goodness, it's a shift. It's a shift. It's a shift in life that just is great. It's hard for me to explain it. I would love for you to experience it for yourself, and you will see why it's hard to explain to a degree because it's something on the inside that just sit differently. Coming from a place of where I spent most of my life surviving to allowing myself to actually intentionally start living, it's a different type of shift. But it started with the decision. I want you to understand this is your life. You are responsible for your life. Good morning, good morning, good morning. You are responsible for your life. And you deserve the life that don't include you settling. We're not settling no more. We are walking intentionally. Y'all know I always got to give a little activity because I believe it's one thing to talk about something, but it's another to put some action behind it. And I don't think it'll be right for me to come here and tell you what you should do and what you should be, have clarity. You should, set goals. You should have vision and you should work on mindset and all those things. I just don't feel like it'd be right for me to come and tell you those things without actually giving you steps to allow you in the space to actually see what it feels to walk out. Now, the thing about me giving you steps, because the thing about your life, the thing about the decisions you make, you're going to have to do a little homework. You are going to have to do a little work. I wouldn't be myself and I wouldn't be honest with you if I just came here and just talked to you without giving you something to work on. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to ask yourself, what do I really want in the next 12 months? What do you want? What do you really want? If I wasn't afraid, what would I choose? Okay. What have I been tolerating that no longer aligns with the woman or the man that I'm becoming? You have to make a decision on what it is that you want. What do you want? The first thing that you are going to do is ask yourself, what do you want in the next 12 months? Go ahead and take a moment and write that thing down because you're going to need it later. Because what we're doing is not doing it just because we just living on autopilot. We're doing it because we're intentionally allowing ourselves to be positioned to live life. We break those. I'm sorry. Get a little sip. Good morning, Miss Lisa. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope you staying warm over there, sweet baby. But listen, so that activity I just gave you, you should do it. You're not doing it for me. I'm not asking you to do it for me. I'm asking you to do it for yourself. What do you really want in the next 12 months? If you wasn't afraid, listen, man, I'm over here. We ain't gonna do it on it long because I gotta save some for the announcement when everything is finished. We working on a website, got the logo and all the things. But this nonprofit and actually stepping into it, man, this thing is bigger than me. You know, I've been able to add another title onto the titles that I already have, but when you take the titles away, you understand the work that actually goes into putting this together, the events that we have coming up that we're planning for, just all the things. And you're going to hear about it a little bit later, maybe a couple of more weeks, you'll get more detail. But it's bigger than me. But I want it. I want it. It's scary as hell, but I want it. I want it bad enough to allow myself to go through these scary moments. I want it bad enough to where I don't understand all the pieces and parts to it, but I want it. What do you want in the next 12 months? Whatever you wrote down just now, that is your truth speaking. That is your truth. You just wrote down your truth. That is your clarity. That is your beginning. You just took the first step and deciding what it is you want. And you're going to allow yourself in the place and in the position to receive it. You know, I had a moment in life, and you hear me talk about it all the time, or many times, that I had to make a decision on who I was becoming. When I made that decision, man, it was the hardest thing because you get so used to living life a certain way. And then here it is, you actually have to shift, and it's scary as heck sometimes, but the shift have to take place, and you know it do. And when that shift took place for me, I had to make a decision on and decide who I was becoming. And I couldn't tie that thing based on my past. It wasn't based on my mistakes. It wasn't based on fear. It was based on the woman that I was designed to become. You ain't gonna know who you're designed to become unless you decide who it is, what it is, where it is, what you're doing, whose you is, who you know, all the things, little things that it takes to discover who you are. When you decide who you are, then you decide and you make a decisions based on what it is you're needing out of life. Is clarity. Here's what I learned. When you finally decide, life arranges itself around that decision. When I decided that I'm going to go ahead and get this nonprofit together, things just started taking in place. I wrote down the type of hearts that I needed connected with this project. And let me tell you, man, I got a bad team, baby. I do. I have a bad team. And it was just crazy on how when I made a decision and God pulled everything and everybody together, you know, everybody, what I was praying for, other people literally had the other pieces to the puzzle. Like when I say God come through for sis, you know, God come through for sis. I'm trying to tell you. It was awesome. It was an awesome experience. It's been an awesome experience, and it's just the beginning, but the beginning has shown itself to be so powerful. So I can only imagine how everything else is going to turn out. Now you're going to take this a little bit further. Now you just went through deciding what you want your next 12 months to look like. You've learned that in order for life to change, in order for life to shift, you have to make a decision. When you finally decide, when you finally just decide, life will arrange itself around that decision. Sweet baby, I'm telling you, some doors are going to fly open. There's some opportunities that's going to show up. You're going to have some people appear. Your strength gonna get a little stronger, sweet baby. Yeah, you're gonna rise. Your peace is gonna settle. Your favor is gonna move. I'm just telling you the things that didn't happen to me. You know, I'm just telling you what didn't happen to me. And I know if it happened to me, if he did it for me, he's gonna do it for you. This is a declaration to yourself. So go ahead and prepare yourself so you can take notes for yourself. Because we're going to take this a little bit farther. I want you to declare your decision. So this is simple. You're just going to write down, I have decided that I want. It's on you. What have you decided you wanted? You just wrote it down. If you did that clarity breakthrough, if you decided what you wanted in the next 12 months, you have the answer to this. And then I want you to make a commitment to yourself. I am committed to taking aligned actions towards it. You have to be committed to take actions aligned with what it is that you want. We finna wrap this thing up. We finna wrap this. Y'all finna hear me yell for a second because I don't think that little girl to moved in there. Nana, are you up? It's 7:40, sweet baby. Now, y'all, I did my job. I did my thing. I went and woke up. I even turned that light on. And that was 40 minutes ago. I don't know. She's gonna come here. Mama, you think you can take me to school? Why the bus can't take you? No. I want you to take a moment and I'm gonna speak something and you repeat it to yourself. Don't whisper. If you're in a position where you can speak out loud and you can be honest with yourself, you're gonna say this and you ain't gonna be timid. You ain't gonna whisper it like you scared, but you're gonna say it with authority as if you believe it. It don't matter if it's already there. I want you to understand it is on the way. In order for you to understand it is on the way, you're gonna have to speak that thing with put your chest in it, speak it with authority. I decide my future. No longer will your future decide for you. You're going to decide for it. I decide my peace. No longer are we going to be setting the expectation thinking that other people is going to bring us peace. We are going to make a decision to declare that we decide our peace. So we're going to make a decision to protect our peace. I decide my purpose. In order for you to decide your purpose, you're going to have clarity. So you're making a decision to allow yourself to be specific about that and what you want because you decide your purpose. I decide my next level. Somebody has told you something about yourself that was not true. And what they told you have made you shrink. It has made you doubt yourself. It has made you think that you're not capable. But this next level that you are allowing yourself to step into, you are making a decision. You are deciding your next level. I decide what I want. We have been around life. We do the things that other people want because, mama and them want you to do this and they expect this out of you. The kids want you to do this and be this person, but you are going to decide what it is that you want. I want you to feel it. That's clear. You feel that feeling? If you said it, because baby, as I was saying it, it was just doing something in me. That thing, I had clarity just settling in my spirit. Good morning, Miss Beverly. Good morning. When you decide for yourself, then you have more control and more power. If you don't make a decision for your life, life is going to make a decision for you. Decide how you gonna show up. If y'all here, go ahead and tap that screen for me so TikTok know that I'm on here and carrying on. Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. Here's the next step, alignment and action. Now, deciding is powerful. We already understood that. We talked about that. So you can make a decision, but a decision without action is just a wish. We're not wishing, we're moving intentionally because we have somewhere to go. So here's your next step. This is step 3. Come on and let's get it. I want you to write down one aligned action you can take in the next 24 hours. Just one. Make it small, make it doable. It don't have to be nothing big and extravagant. Make it something that moves you towards your decision. It can be you decide that you want to start a business. Go ahead and make a simple move step to coming up with the name for that business. You decided that you want to switch career because you know that your worth and your value in that space is not aligned with who you are and where you're going. Go ahead and make a decision to, at least start looking for some other jobs that'll give you exactly what you're needing. Alignment and action is powerful. You can decide all you want, but you're going to have to put some action behind it. You're going to have to do some work. And that's why I always give little steps that you can implement into your life, into your day, so that you can start making the decisions and the movements that's going to allow you to be aligned with purpose. Today it wasn't about motivation. Today wasn't about hype. That's why I'm trying to keep my little energy. Y'all know I can be on here jumping around, be sweet baby. Tonight was about you remembering that you get to choose your direction. You get to shift your story. You get to design the life you love. I want you to understand that if you don't make these decisions, life is going to make the decisions for you. You're going to get handed and thrown anything and everything just because you're existing in that space. But you're no longer going to allow yourself to exist in spaces. You're going to allow yourself to intentionally be placed in spaces that's going to be getting you from where you are to where you want to be. Everything you want is on the other side of your decision. Everything you want. Everything you want is on the other side of your decision, and you just have to make one. You just have to decide. And remember, I'll just go back to it for those that came in a little bit late. One, you're going to decide what you want in the next 12 months. What does that look like? You're going to decide what you want in the next 12 months, and you're not going to be afraid of what you choose. You're going to be able to step into that space and say, even though I don't have all the questions, all the answers, all all to it, I'm going to make a decision. You're going to have to then write and commit to yourself. I have decided that I want, and what is it that you want? And I am committed to taking aligned actions towards it. I am committed to do the thing that I need to do. And I'm not going to do it based off fear or past hurt or past pain. I am going to align myself knowing that where I'm going is where I want to be because I'm making a decision. That's it. That's all. You're going to do one small step. One small and doable step to allow you to get from where you are to where you want to be. That's it. Today is the day that you're going to decide. You're going to decide what type of life you really want to live. Because again, and I can't say it enough, if you don't decide for yourself, life is going to decide for you. And if you allow life and other people to decide what life is going to look like for you, then you're going to stay stuck. You're going to stay frustrated. You're going to stay not living in purpose. You're going to stay throwing away your peace, and you're going to stay not setting boundaries for yourself. And in order to allow yourself to move in purpose, you got to have clarity. And in order to have clarity, you got to make a decision. Now, I want you to walk these steps out like you believe in yourself, because I believe in you. I always tell people, if Tawanda did it, baby, it can be done. Because, honey, I am one. I'm one for the books. I am one that has, went through that space of just really, 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 really moving unintentional. I was waking up and I was just going through the day, letting the day decide for me what I wanted. I wasn't even putting a schedule together for myself because I was waiting for somebody else to decide what I was going to do. I was making myself readily available for whoever, whatever, whenever. I was letting everybody else decide how my day was going to pan out. And so I was trying to fill my schedule with things that everybody else needed me to do because, again, I had to realize that I was avoiding myself. When I stopped avoiding myself and sat down with myself, had that moment of self-awareness and understood what I really wanted in life, it shifted. It shifted. Now, everything is a process, and I am still waiting on some things to show up. So I'm not going to make it like, oh, everything. But, we're constantly evolving. Every year is going to be something different added to what it is that we're desiring to do. Because if we've already went this year and we completed some things, we've done some things, if we've decided some things that we wanted, then moving forward, every decision that we make moving forward is going to determine how we are wanting to position ourselves in life. What do you want? You have to decide now. And if you're having a hard time deciding, go ahead and do yourself a favor and click the link in the bio and just join me December the 15th. You don't have to, but I'm encouraging you to. Why? Because if you're in a space of being stuck, if you're in a space of still trying to figure it out, clarity not sitting, and you don't know what you're doing next year, you should go ahead and click that link and come sit with me so we can go ahead and allow you in a space to get from where you are to where you want to be. Everything's needed going to be broken down and you're going to be able to walk. Nah, you ain't even going to be walking because you're just going to be sitting there, but you're going to be able to leave that space with clarity. You're going to be able to leave that space making decisions for yourself. You're going to be able to leave that space knowing that you are walking in purpose in the person that has been waiting on you. The version of you that has been waiting on you is actually you're positioning yourself to meet her or meet him. In that space, December the 15th is where we're going to be able to break all those things down. And we're going to be able to make some decisions, sweet baby. Because the decisions that we need, the decisions that we're desiring, the decisions and the things that keep pricking at our hearts, we're going to go ahead and take those things and make a decision to move forward in them. It may be a relationship that you need to walk out of. You're going to make a decision to leave it. It's a job you may need to switch. You're going to make a decision to leave it. It's a business that you're needing to build. You're going to make a decision to build it. It's peace that you are desiring to have. You're going to make a decision to protect it. You're going to make a decision for yourself. If you've not allowed yourself to make decision, like you really sit down with yourself and you decide what it is you want, this is your time, this is your moment, this is your opportunity. Hey, I hope you enjoyed the talk for today with Talks with Tawanda. We're just talking about deciding. I just want you to be in a position to decide what you want so life don't decide it for you. I've enjoyed sitting here talking with you today. I enjoyed sharing with you today. I enjoyed in my heart of knowing that you are going to make a decision. You're going to decide. You're going to make a move because you're intentionally walking in life into purpose. You're going to make a decision today. And that decision is, what do you want? You're going to decide. If you want more money, you're not just going to say you want more money. You're going to say, I want to make an extra 20K a month, whatever that thing is that you want. If you want happiness, you're not just going to say, I want a happy life. You're going to actually move towards it. You're going to make decisions to allow yourself to understand, first of all, what happiness look like for you. So what are those things that is missing that you really want and need in life? You're going to allow yourself to be in a position to gravitate to it. Why? Because you're going to make a decision. Again, it is Monday morning, Monday. We have made it to the day. Y'all know Coach Tawanda gonna go in here. Hey, good morning, Tracy. We have made it through the day. And we have made decisions today. I want you to be intentional about what it is you want. It's simple. And listen, when you decide what you want there, because you're in a space to where you're going to be doing something that you've not really allowed yourself to do before. You're going to be intentionally sitting with yourself and to intentionally making decisions. So when you decide, there's going to be, I'm not going to tell you that, oh, once you decide and you make a decision, everything's going to fall in place just perfectly. But what I'm telling you is, once you make a decision, things are going to start shifting. It just is. But you got to make a decision intentionally. So when you look at the next 12 months of your life, I want you to take the fear off your eyes. I want you to take the worry off your eyes. I want you to take those moments where pain has set in spaces and you're going to peel them off your eyes and you're going to be able to make decisions on clarity. You're going to be able to make decisions moving forward, not with the hurt part of you, but with the healed part of you. Not with the confused part of you, but with the part of you that have clarity. Not with the part of you that are scared to make decisions for yourself because you're living in fear, but the part of you that is going to move with confidence. Hey, have an amazing day on Monday. I am done. I'm out. I am out, and I am excited about the decisions that you're going to make in life. I'll see y'all tomorrow morning. And for some of y'all on TikTok, I'll probably see y'all in a couple of hours because I'm going to jump back on this thing and see what we got to talk about. Again, have an amazing day on purpose and understanding that your life is ready to shift. And in order for it to shift, you're going to have to make a decision. So go ahead and decide what it is that you want. Have a great day on purpose, YouTube. I'll see y'all in the morning.